In providing assistance to my children to buy their first home or investment property, I need to have a set of criteria, something that I can make sure I'm engaging my brain and not just my heart. If they're going to enter into this purchase, best chance of maximizing the benefits of being a property owner and reducing the possible risks of things going wrong. Let's have a look at these things right now. Greetings, I'm Rick Ward. I'm a wealth creator and educator with Working Class Wealth Creations. As I've said in previous videos, as baby boomers, we're often blamed for protecting our children too much and giving them too much and shielding them. We step in and help them before they have the opportunity to learn life's lessons on their own. This can be as small as protecting them in sports when they're little kids, all the way through life. We always want to shield them, always want to help them. And the way the credit systems are today, it makes it fairly easy for a young person to buy their own house on their own. But there still are many times when there's an advantage if a parent can either co-sign, guarantee for the loan, or guarantee the deposit. There's some ways of securing that. And the thing is that we really get caught up in the excitement of the whole thing. We might say yes and go along with whatever it's presented to them, and we don't know where they got their information from their friends. Very few people do some serious research around buying property. It's their friends start to buy them and they think, oh, I'm all grown up and I want to buy it now, and so they rush out and they rush into deals they don't fully understand, and they don't really get advice. They're more likely to research a holiday than they will property purchase. I find that fascinating, but it's true. It was even true for myself. Early on, I did no research buying my first properties. But yeah, if I was going to buy a car or if I was going to go on a holiday, I did plenty of research. So I don't know if it's true, if it was baby boomers stepping in and protecting too much. It's hard to see when you're from the inside looking out. But in my own life, what I do know is I want my children to have a happy life. I want them to learn life skills. I want them to be self-sufficient, be aware of what situations they're getting into, and to always ask the questions of the right people. I want my children to have a happy life, and I want to have a secure retirement. And so I need a criteria in place to look through all things to ensure that those two goals are met. Every situation is unique and every relationship is unique. You'll have a unique relationship with each one of your children. And the culture around money can extend across generations. It's quite likely, as baby boomers, we're probably the first generation starting to move away from the culture of scarcity that our parents and grandparents and previous generations had. There was a day when Dad said you had no money, it's just you had no money. But today, you have no money, but you still have a credit card or some other ways of financing things until payday comes to have money. So we are able to sell our future. Now that is a totally different aspect that's affected our mentality and our children. I've assisted 3 out of 4 of my children to buy property. Each one was in a different way. Each child's unique. Each child had different resources available to them, different circumstances. They purchased the properties for different reasons. I help them all in different ways. And I'll help my 4th child when they're ready to purchase their first home. And how I help them, I don't know yet. But what I do have is a criteria that go through all of those. So let's look at some of those points. What plan have they brought to me? Now, it's important. I don't push my kids to buy property. I think it's a good thing. They know I buy property. They know it's worked well for me, and they know for some extent that when it went against me as well. So it's up to them when they decide when they want to buy a property. And they'll need to bring the deal to me. Once they bring the deal to me, then we'll go over it together. And I'll evaluate that plan to make sure it's the best option for them. Again, property is very emotional, a very emotional purchase. There's so many reasons that are so unique to individuals of why that's the property that they want to buy. And often the deal is a second consideration. They usually find out how much money they're likely to be able to buy, and they look in that realm, they pick a house that's in that realm. But there's so many things in that deal that needs to be thought out. And because I have a lot of experience in buying property, I can look through the deal and see all the aspects and hidden problems that could possibly be there. Now, if you don't have that sort of expertise and you don't know anybody that does, you can always engage a mortgage broker. A mortgage broker, particularly one that specializes in residential mortgages, will have a lot of experience and watched a lot and helped a lot of people purchase properties, and they're going to know a lot of the ins and outs, and they can look at the deal somewhat. I wouldn't be taking a whole lot of advice from the real estate agent who's the selling agent, because the things about real estate agents is, first and foremost, they work for themselves. They need to get the deal closed. They need to close as many deals as they can, as fast as they can, or they get paid. There's only one outcome from them. They do the job once, they get paid once. As an investor, as a homeowner, you get ongoing residual benefits as the value goes up in the property. As a mortgage broker, as long as you hold that mortgage with that bank, they get residual payments. The bank gets a residual benefit for as long as you stay with their bank, they collect interest. So a real estate agent has their own agenda. Buyer's agents can be very helpful, particularly if you have no other one in your circle with any expertise. Buyer's agents, they work for you, and in most localities, they get paid on the closing of the property like the selling agent. But their job is primarily to work for you. Again, they're a real estate agent, they're going to be working for themselves, they need to close the deals as well, but their fundamental reason is to negotiate on your behalf to get the best possible deal. So just be mindful of where you get your information. I look at what capacity, what involvement are they looking for from me? Are they just wanting advice? Are they wanting to link into my networks? Are they wanting my physical help? Or are they wanting my financial assistance? I look at what that all is. I'm looking at what capacity they actually want me to be involved in this. And if it is going to be a financial involvement, then I need to talk to my experts and look at where I sit and what capacity I have, ensuring that I'm on track for my retirement, then what capacity I have to help them, and what sort of risk this deal might pose. And once I find out that information, I make that very clear what I can offer, and I'll provide as much assistance as I can in any way I can. And whatever that capacity is, I'll make that commitment to them. I'll also ensure that the plan is the least intrusive way that I can provide assistance. Again, I want them to exhaust every opportunity to make this purchase financially on their own and to have them do as much of the legwork. I think the ideal role as a parent is a coach, and for me to sit back and make them aware of all the questions to ask, but they'll be asking the questions. They'll be doing the negotiation. I'll be a coach behind the scenes. If need be, if they need emotional support, I'll go along to the meetings. I'll look over the contracts before they sign them, but it's their purchase. They're going to be in the lead, and I'm going to have them do the very most that they can do. Again, preparing them for future deals and maybe future assisting some of their friends. And there are a few things that I'll always provide support in, and that's opening them up my professional networks. I got mortgage brokers, accountants, financial planners. There's a lot of people that I've spent decades building relationships with that I've weeded through and vetted and found the very best people I could find. I introduced my children to those people. So not only do they have my expertise, but they also get professionals that are experts in each of their fields. Also, if I'm going to provide financial assistance, it's going to be very clear what that is and what the implications are around that. I've done this on a number of deals, even assisting the kids buying their first cars and now houses. If I did that, we've been clear up front what the deal is. And usually for the bulk of the purchase, those are all loans that they repay back to me. I charge them the same amount of interest that the bank charges me. I may gift little things along the way in my time and help them with small things. But again, making them as independent as possible. Also, that's very contingent on my criteria. Is this for their primary residence or is this an investment? Some very different advanced criteria around this because there are real strengths and weaknesses involved with both. There's some advantages that you get in residential property that you don't get in investment properties and commercial property, things like that. So if they're going down one of those other streams, then I'll have another line of questions and queries and things to think about. And as we progress more through this series, I'll highlight what some of those things are. And if I think their deal is a bad deal, I'll explain why and give them all the risks and all the downsides and why I would not enter into this sort of deal and why I think it's a bad deal to get into. That doesn't mean I won't provide assistance. It doesn't even mean I won't provide financial assistance. As long as they're clear on what the risks are and they still are committed to the project, and that I can see that although I don't think this is a good deal, it's not going to destroy them or me entering into it. I'm still likely to provide whatever support they're wanting, but they know full well going in what the risks are. So just sort of recap on my points. The point of these videos is I just want you to take some serious thought into these really large purchases. These purchases can really make or break your children's future, as well as having a significant impact on your future. So I want you to use your brain as well as your heart. So I hope this has given you some food for thought. And if this is the first time to this channel, and this is sort of content you're interested in, I recommend that you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. You'll be notified whenever I release new content, particularly along this series. There's probably a lot of videos I'll create around this series, because I think it's very important to us baby boomers who want to help our children and we're coming close to retirement or we're already in retirement. If you know anyone's interested in this sort of content, then please share this video, share this channel, share it on your social media, and then you can make a positive contribution to other people's lives in this situation. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and of course my website, workingclasswealthcreations.com. So until next time, this is Rick Ward teaching you how to create, manage, and retain your first generation wealth.